Hey, my name is Ryan Dins, and I just want to talk to you about the pros and cons of living in California. I recently moved from New Jersey about 8 months ago, and I really do like living here. But there are some cons to it. There's a lot of pros, but there's a lot of cons. So I'm going to get into exactly the pros and cons. All right, the biggest pro by far, and anyone will tell you this, is the weather. It is now December right now, and I'm wearing this, and I'm actually a little hot. I can take this off and be wearing a polo right now. I went sunbathing a few days ago. Now go to anywhere on the East Coast right now, they're getting a snowstorm. It's they're getting like 10 inches of snow or something like that. You know, Here you can pretty much do what you want most days of the year. If there's 365 days of the year, maybe 330 of those days you could do whatever you want. Now, if you go to the East Coast, there's maybe like 150 days of the year where you can't do anything. It'll be rainy, it'll be snowing, you have to shovel snow just to get out of your driveway. You won't want to do anything, even if you can. If it's like 5 degrees out, are you going to want to go to the gym? Are you want to go to dinner? You probably just want to sit at your home and watch TV. So that's like the biggest pro by far. One of the biggest cons, I would say, is traffic. It is ridiculous. I happen to live in Venice, where I don't really have to drive that much. I kind of walk to this burrito place for lunch, and there's a bunch of stores around me. A lot of people have bikes, and if I do gotta drive, it's only a few minutes. But people who commute to work, just to give you an example, if I was to work in Hollywood, if I wanted to go to work, I would have to leave by before 6 a.m. And before 6 a.m. it might take 20 minutes to get to work. If you leave after 6:30 a.m., it's going to take you over an hour just to do that drive. And it's not a fun hour. It's go 10 feet, stop for the whole hour. It's kind of a miserable existence if you have to deal with that every single day of your life. So that is a big con. Another pro is there's so many unbelievable activities pretty much anywhere. Just to give you an example, I had a friend, I went surfing the other day, and I went surfing with this guy, and he told me that he went snowboarding that morning. Just imagine that. You went snowboarding in the mountains, and then you drove home, and after you got home, you decided to go surfing. You try doing that in New Jersey. I mean, you can technically do that in New Jersey, but that's only if you want to jump in the ocean when the ocean is 35 to 40 degrees, and it's 20 degrees outside. So yeah, technically you could do that, but you wouldn't want to do it. Here, it's very enjoyable. You're warm either way. So that's one big thing. You could go hiking. There's so many things. You go hiking, you go bike riding. Yoga's huge out here. There's always people playing basketball outside. There's skate parks every square mile. You could jog. It's just very common. Almost all my friends are involved in something. A couple of my friends just ran a triathlon the other day. I've never met anyone on the East Coast who ran a triathlon. I'm sure there are a few people, but it's just not common. Everybody's in good shape too because of these activities. Now, one con, and this is by far the most annoying thing about California, is everything is unreasonably expensive. I owned a duplex back in New Jersey. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, had a nice backyard, a big driveway that could fit 3 cars easily. My rent, my entire mortgage was under $1,400. At one point towards the end, it was around $1,300. Right now, I'm paying $1,325 to stay in a tiny room with 3 other people sharing the house. So basically, my 3-bedroom, gigantic house with 2 living rooms and 2 bathrooms was a little bit less than a tiny room here in California. And it's not just the rent that is ridiculous. Everything's ridiculous. Like, things just seem to be unreasonably priced. If you call a pizza place, most places on the East Coast, you're gonna get a really good pizza for 10, maybe $12. If you're in the city, it might even be like 15. Here they seem to try to charge you $25 for a pizza. Just little things. A soda is a little bit more money. Now, the one thing that's not more money is grocery stores, especially if you go to Ralph's. They always have good deals. That's the one thing that isn't more expensive. But little annoying things, gas, there's tax on everything. clothes, food. Like, there isn't one thing that you don't get robbed on in every way. Property taxes are high. Property taxes are high in New Jersey, but that's like the only thing that is pretty high. But at the same time, you can get the same house for $300,000 in New Jersey. It will be $2 million here. So if they tax you on the percentage of how much the property's worth, it's still going to be way cheaper, even if the property taxes are higher, just because the property in general is so much cheaper. So that is one thing about it. It's really a hustler's place. You have to. It's hard to survive here. So that leads to another con of California, which is the homeless problem. There are so many homeless everywhere you go, and a lot of them, some of them are people down on their luck, but a lot of them are crazy meth heads that might attack you with a spiked bat, or like that actually happened. If you think I'm just making up crazy scenarios, this guy took a piece of wood with nails in it and hit this guy for absolutely no reason. This is kind of what happens. There's homeless everywhere, and that's just kind of what happens when, where I'm from back in New Jersey, or pretty much most places besides New York City on the East Coast, if you can make $2,000 a month, you can survive pretty well. I'm not saying your life's going to be great for $2,000 a month, but you can get by. Here, $2,000 a month, it's just not going to cut it. You're going to have a really, really tough time surviving. You might have to live in your car. You have to make like $3,000 minimum here. Whereas $3,000 back east, if you don't have any kids or anything, you're going to be like pretty well off for $3,000 a month. Here, it's like a joke. You're going to be broke, incredibly broke for even $3,000 a month. So that is one of the things that leads to the homeless problem. Some of these homeless people have jobs and they can't even survive. A lot of people live in their cars while working. That's just the way it is, because I would love to have my own apartment right now, but I don't want to pay like $3,000 a month on rent. I'm very frugal. I'm going to make more YouTube videos in the future about how I am frugal. I try to save it any way I can. And to me, spending $3,000 a month is absolutely unnecessary when I could get a room with a couple cool people for less than half of that. I don't absolutely need my own living room. I don't absolutely need my own kitchen. I'd much rather say hi to everyone once a day than, pay double and just throw money away. But there are, plenty of other pros. One thing is that I find a pro here is, in general, I don't want to generalize too much, but the people are blatantly friendlier. Back in New Jersey, I used to have to get in yelling matches with people all the time. I even got in fist fights because you would go to a bar and you step on someone's shoe and then they punch you in the face. That really happens in New Jersey. It's common. There's psychopathic maniac people that will want to fight you for no reason. In California, unless it's one of the bums that I mentioned before, that might be on meth or something, you're not going to have to fight anybody. People might go, hey man, if you steal somebody's wave when I surf a lot, so if you steal somebody's wave in New Jersey, they'll be like, yo, let's go on the beach right now. Whereas here, they'll be like, yo man, why'd you do that? And you'll be like, oh, sorry. And they'll be like, oh, it's cool. So it's very much more laid back, a lot more chill, a lot less craziness. Now, on the same sense, there's a con in that same thing is the people are a little less fake. Someone will pretend that they're your friend and talk about you behind your back in California, whereas it is refreshing in New Jersey and New York and Philly, that whole area. If somebody doesn't like you, they're going to tell you. They're going to let you know they don't like you. There's not going to be any fakeness to it. So that is one thing. I kind of miss the refreshing honesty sometimes. I guess you could say it evens out the pros and the cons, but the way I look at it is I would rather pay more money to have great weather and just great activities. Because to me, a lot of people might say that LA is not a great place, but to me, it seems like a dream come true type of place to live. Every day I kind of wake up a little more happy. I don't really go through these horrible 3-month, 4-month depressions every winter in New Jersey where I feel like I can't do absolutely anything but sit home. And I don't like to sit home. I like to go hiking. I like to go surfing. I like to go snowboarding. I like to do all these things. And even go outside and play basketball. Even just walking down the street without wearing a jacket and 2 sweatshirts. That's just, that alone is worth the extra price of everything. I would say another pro out here, and I guess you could say the same thing about New York City, even though that's East Coast. But one pro out here is it's pretty easy to get a well-paying job. I had a job. It was my first job starting in affiliate marketing, and I think my salary was somewhere, I forget exactly, but it was somewhere around $35,000 a year. That same job, even the worst company out here would pay you 50 to 60. So you're blatantly getting paid more money to do the exact same work. And when I mean exact same work, it is the exact same job description. You're sitting at a computer running ads for 7 to 8 hours a day. You will get paid double here for doing the exact same thing. Why are you getting paid double? Because if they tried to offer you $35,000, you wouldn't survive, and they know that, and then you wouldn't take the job. And it's just very competitive. There's so many companies that want the best talent out here, and the economy's good right now, so that helps too. But it really is a lot easier to get a good job out here. Now, I'm an entrepreneur at the moment, so I'm not worried about getting a job. But if I needed a job in, say, New Jersey, Philly, I might be pretty qualified to get like a $60,000 a year job. But here, I would be getting 6 figures probably with my resume. So that's just a huge difference right there. You're gonna get paid way more money. So then you're maybe willing to actually pay a little more for everything because you are getting more money. So now the one thing that I'm gonna have to go even on, I was saying pros, I was saying cons. This is a little bit even, is the food. It's different types of food that are good and different types of food that are bad. The pizza in California is horrible. It's worse. I'm sure you've had Domino's and stuff. That's what the mom and pop shops taste like out here. There is no good pizza. You can occasionally find like some gem, but still, I do this weird thing where I rate every pizza that slice I ate. Nothing out here has ever gotten above an 8, whereas rarely in New Jersey or even New York, Philly, you're getting anything below an 8. It's very rare to get a bad slice of pizza out there. However, the Mexican food could suffer on the East Coast. Out here on the West Coast, the Mexican food, every single time you get Mexican